Hi, my name is Renata. I am a psychospiritual coach and intuitive guide. So I'm sitting here and I am brainstorming classes that I'm going to be putting on in the near future. And it's kind of just hitting me. I'm getting this flow of kind of consciousness stream that I just wanted to begin to share. So we're going to begin with the fundamental understanding or fundamental truth. And I don't use that word lightly because I believe that truth is based in perspective and that it's subjective largely. And I also believe in paradox. I think that there are some fundamental truths or frameworks for in which the nature of reality and the nature of our consciousness exists within and operates from. So one of those is actually a hermetic law. It's the first hermetic law, and it is all is mind. The universe is mental. We are microcosm examples of the universe. Everything that we do stems from our thoughts. And our beliefs are the scaffolding that creates our reality. This is not woo-woo. This is not theoretical. This is literally how being a human being works and functions at this moment in time. So, at this moment in time is also not real, but we'll get to that in another video. So, talking about the universe is mental, all is mind, and everything begins with our thoughts. This is such a paramount understanding for how we do everything, how we show up in relationships, how we relate to other people, how we relate to ourselves, and how we relate to the world and the way that we see the world, the way that we experience the world, the way that we experience ourselves, and the way that we experience our relationships. It all has to do with the belief, which is the perspective that we are viewing all of those things from. So the idea of rose-colored glasses, what our beliefs are the glasses through which we are viewing reality and everything that encompasses. All of which is just a projection of our thoughts and our understanding of reality. And a lot of this, there's again microcosm and macrocosm. So we have a collective consciousness that we are sharing as a human race that is informs some of this. So we have collective ideas about what reality is, like Newtonian physics, right? There's we have a collective understanding that kind of, I guess, some people think the earth is spherical, some people think that it's flat. But the sun comes up and the sun goes down, or whatever directional that you're associating to that. There's collective languages that we use to communicate, and obviously those are different, but within that group this is like an example of a collective consciousness that's operating off of a communal framework. In the United States, right, we have an agreed upon understanding of what our government is and how our government functions. Not necessarily agreed upon as to whether it's right or helpful or moral or whatever, but there's the understanding of how it works and the democracy. Anyways, so there's a collective version of that helps inform our own individual perspective of that and our own individual reality. And it's not that that's a bad thing, because it helps us navigate this shared reality. And when we're ungrounded from that or detached from that, then that's what we would again collectively call like a severe mental illness or disorder, being really disillusioned from this reality, which is just that, and there are infinite realities. So it's really important when we start to talk about mental health, spiritual awakening, spiritual health and understanding, kundalini awakening, um, I don't know, whatever else comes along with that that I can't think of at the time. Manifestation and creation, how we create our lives. All of these things, it's really important to understand, have a root in which must be addressed at this level of belief that also informs the way, the thoughts that we are thinking. It contributes greatly to the thoughts that we are thinking and the thoughts that we become aware of and can become aware of. So when someone is coming to me and they are depressed or they are anxious or they are stressed, it's really difficult for me to just throw some tools at them and say, here you go, just don't be like that anymore. Or we can try to work at this intellectual level, conscious level, which is helpful for some people, but also has its limits because 95 or more percent of what we do operates from a subconscious level, an unconscious level, because it is grouped into these belief systems or neural networks. And unless that is changed or evolved to become something different, then the weed is going to continue to sprout. The weed of anxiety, the weed of depression, the weed of stress is going to continue to be our experience until we can pull up the root of the thing that is not working for us and plant a seed, create a new neural pathway, create a new belief system from which we are operating. So this applies in organizing our mental health. This also applies to our self-concept of ourselves and our self-image. So this has to do with things like self-worth and self-value and self-doubt and confidence and self-esteem. All of this is a result of the way in which we believe and perceive ourselves to be. And all that is a result of thoughts that we have continued to think that have become a belief about ourselves. And those thoughts could come from anything. They could come from childhood. They can come from societal and cultural or religious conditioning. It doesn't really matter. What matters is it serving you and is it helpful for you? The other place that this shows up is in then manifestation. And when we try to create our world, right? Manifestation has come about in such a beautiful way. I love that we're talking about this collectively and that it's become so popular, and it's still wildly misunderstood because people go to set their intention or they go to create whatever it is that they want to create, but oftentimes they get hung up or get stuck in doing that and think that it doesn't work, or they can internalize it to think that like there's something wrong with them or that they're broken in some way. But really, if they have beliefs that are creating unconscious resistance to what it is that they're trying to create, then they're never going to be able to create that experience. They have to uproot that belief or that idea or perspective that they hold of themselves or of what they're trying to create. Like money is a great example. People try to create more money for themselves and more financial and time freedom for themselves. Um, and they're not successful. There's stuff that continuously gets in the way. And so it could also be their beliefs that they hold about money or about people that have money or about what that could mean about them. And so all of that comes back to, again, everything is in our reality is determined by the way in which we are perceiving and the meaning and the thought and the perspective and the belief, the rose-colored glasses or the shit-colored glasses that we are looking at and experience through. So, as I go forward, I'm going to begin to create systems, videos, and tools and techniques to begin to deepen the understanding that your idea of who you are is completely up to you, and that you get to choose what is helpful for you and what helps you to experience yourself and your life in a way that feels good for you, that feels preferred for you, that feels aligned and congruent for you. Or you can choose something that feels limiting and that feels like it's in lack, or like it's doubtful, or like it's small, or like it's separate or broken or different or other. And typically those experiences don't feel very good. And so I want it to be, I feel like it's my purpose, part of my purpose, and it feels really joyful for me to help educate people and walk them through experientially the process in which you can begin to change your idea of yourself and the thoughts that you think about yourself and the thoughts and beliefs that you hold about other people and about the world at large, and transform and transmute them into ones that, again, are actually helpful for you and serve you feeling the way that you want to be feeling and not stuck in something that doesn't feel good. So you have a lot more power than you think, and it all begins with your mind. And by the way, this doesn't have to be hard or challenging, but it does require a couple of things. One, first, that you accept that you are responsible for your own life. And the second thing, a commitment. Require it requires a commitment or a decision that you are ready, willing, and dedicated to taking the steps necessary and being diligent enough to start to affect change. Change doesn't have to be difficult, and it doesn't have to be a long drawn out process. Change is a result of repetition. This type of change is a result of repetition. We're creating new neural pathways. We're creating new concepts, new beliefs, and that occurs through repetition. And so that takes effort and energy and attention and intention on your part. But that doesn't mean that it's hard, or that it has to be hard, or that it has to be this big, lengthy process. Like, we don't need to create a story about it that makes it feel like it's impossible, or that it's out of reach, or that it's only for some people. No, it's for you if you want it to be for you. And I want it to be for you, for as many people as want to feel mentally healthy, have internal mental peace, to feel emotionally regulated, to feel empowered in their life, not helpless, to feel well, to feel like they can enjoy themselves in their life most of the time. It doesn't mean that we're striving for perfection or for positive vibes only or for this utopian experience of life. That's not what we're going for. There will be, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. So there will continue to be trials and tribulations in our life and in the world that we're experiencing, because it's just a byproduct of this larger scale, the cosmic scale that we're going through right now. We're going through a collective transitioning, a collective evolution with Gaia, Mother Earth, and included. And so it's not that we're bypassing or suppressing our negative experience or our shadow experiences. It's that we're integrating it, and we're taking these two polarities, the negative and the positive, and we are bringing them together and harmonizing them and coming into unity consciousness. That's what this is about. Coming into your power, coming into your love, coming into your light. And part of that is through integrating the darkness and holding the darkness with reverence and with love itself, and acceptance, compassion and understanding and curiosity, and harmonizing yourself and harmonizing your relationship to yourself, to other people, and to the world. And in doing that, you become empowered to live your life, to experience your life however you want. You become liberated and free to do that. And it is my mission, my intention, my purpose to help you do that. Help anyone who's interested in that do that. So be on the lookout for a series that is going to come from me, where we are looking at how do we actually do this? How do we get into the nitty-gritty, as it were, and really start to do this work? And like I said, it's a lot easier than you may think, but it does take effort still, and dedication, and choosing to love yourself, to choosing to allow yourself to be happy, to be joyful, to be peaceful, to be fulfilled, to be in alignment with all of who you are, the truth of who you are. So, thanks for watching. I hope that you get immense value out of this experience. I'd love to hear from you if you are watching this video and want to work together in any way. Like I do this one-on-one with people, but I'm also going to be, as I said, putting this out there for people to be engaging with on their own as well, because I don't want to be a gatekeeper to this really powerful information that I hold. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that you have a lovely day. Sending you so much love, health, harmony, prosperity, and peace. Bye.